Good evening, apologies for the long silence. I was just sorting the link out in the Discord. This is our fourth race of the week at Singapore. It's the Tier 4 category. I'll just sort out bits on the screen very quickly. So it's GXD, first car out on track. I am your lead comms for Tier 4, BitW365, also known as Carl. And my co-com tonight is Tier 1's very own CI, real name. I pronounced it earlier perfectly. Skulk.
That is correct. You've got it, Carl. Well done.
Good evening, Skulk.
You remembered the Minecraft thing again, but
yeah, we were talking about it before, and I just happened to tell you that there's a thing in Minecraft called Skulk Sensor. So, it helps that I can pronounce that.
It works perfectly. Thank you for having me tonight, eh?
Yeah, first time in the commentary together, so new pairing for a pair of us. So, yeah, hopefully this one goes with no issues at all. So round 6, Singapore, from the Marina Bay Street Circuit in downtown Marina Bay. We will go on board with GXD, as he is the first car out in this qualifying session as he enters turns, the penultimate 2 corners, as we head down to turn 1. And then quickly into 2 and 3. Very careful traction on the exit of turn 3. Then we're going through the slight right kink of turn 4 into turn 5. Again, another corner where the back end can step out. First DRS zone. Kink of 6 heading down towards turn 7, the right hander. So many corners, low speed, can easily lose traction on the exits. This is turn 8, and then we've got turn 9, and then we're heading down towards turn 10 where the infamous Singapore sling used to be. They removed it because of many people taking air and getting into the wall. We've got turns 10, 11, 12, over the Anderson Bridge into 13, where we have another DRS zone. Heading towards turn 14, where we have another DRS zone, because this game, unlike last year, has the new DRS zone going from turns 14 down to 16. Then we've got 17, careful on the wall on the exit, and then we've got the quick double right-handers of 18 and 19. And across the line, and GXD does a 30.658 for his banker, which is solid. I believe we could see some possible 29s in Tier 4, possibly, when the track evolves over time.
Definitely. I think we can get 29s. I see Connor is on a similar lap to GXD. He did get a bit of a slide on the rear, so he's lost a bit of time, and he's just behind GXD.
Yeah, 30.883 for Connor in the Williams.
As we see Isaac diving into the pits, he invalidated his lap.
Yeah, so yeah, he's invalidated, so he's bailed in. Let's find somebody. Currently got Man just heading up towards turn 14. In the Red Bull. Nice and tidy, as Owen J goes P3 in the Red Bull, and Sternberg P5 in the Mercedes, both doing 31s. Owen J with a 31.2, Sternberg 31.9, Blurred Magic 34.5, but Josh Boy, the championship leader, already into the 29s, a 29.941. And Delta with a 29.877, taking provisional pole within seconds after Josh Boy. So already two drivers into the high 29s.
Yeah, that was a good lap from Delta. I was able to look at the last two sectors, and the car really looked hook up around the circuit.
Yeah, Delta had a phenomenal battle last week in Tier 4 with GXD. They had a titanic heavyweight battle throughout the majority of the Chinese Grand Prix at the Shanghai International Circuit last week out. And they are relatively close together again, because as it stands, Delta on provisional pole, GXD down in third, the second Haas of Blur in fourth. We're currently watching Fire J Rooster in the McLaren as he heads
doesn't
through.
Look like he's on a push lap because he's not using a lot of the track.
Oh, but he's hit the wall out of turn 9. So no damage on the McLaren now, and he's still going. Even if
really
it's
lucky not to have had damage there.
Yeah, he's hit it at just the right angle where it's not giving any damage, any slight angle, and you could probably lose a wheel, probably your front wing as well. And Singapore, he's gone a bit deep into turn 14 and clipping the wall on the exit. So it's been a bit of a scruffy end to the lap for Fire J.
Yeah, he's really struggling with the front end.
Yeah, and he's going to finish the lap, which is not a bad idea, because as long as you get a banker on the board, 35.116, he's definitely going to be able to improve on that one. But yes, it was not an ideal starter for Fire J, but always best to get a time on the board, as we are going to see what Smoggy Ghost can do, as he's just gone through Sector 2 as he enters the kink of 15 with the DRS Open heading down towards 16.
Looking at his sector times, I think he could be close to Connor and GXD. I think he might be in that third to fifth battle.
Yeah, Smoggy Ghost quite high up in the championship himself. He goes P6, 30.930, putting the Aston Martin into that top 6. The top 5, though, is pretty much dominated by Haas and Williams, with the sole Alpine in third. Still a few drivers still to get a time on the board. We're watching Isaac in the Racing Bull as he's just gone through turn 14. Him and Brindle along with Senna, tier 3 drivers, yet to get a time on the board. We've just got exactly 9 minutes left in this session, so still early days. As Isaac comes round the final 2 corners to put a first time on the board. He does a 29.626 to go top of the timing page.
And top by 2 tenths. That's going to be a difficult one to beat for the other drivers. They're going to have to be on their laps, as we see Brindle now coming towards the final few corners. He has been struggling with the rear end on this lap, so he's been very cautious, and he goes into P9.
Yeah, P9 for the Ferrari, goes ahead of his teammate who's down in P12, so it's 9th and 12th for the Ferrari duo. And now we go to the very bottom of the timing page. The only tier 4 driver yet to get a time on the board is the Alpine of Senna, and he's one for good pace, so I'm sure he's going to shoot up the timing page once he gets one in. So he's got the DRS open as he's heading towards turn 7.
Yeah, so he's already 2 tenths faster than what we saw Connor was able to do in his lap. So this might be a good lap from Senna.
Yeah, I was commentating on Senna's debut last season at Spa. I believe he got pole and won, so it was pretty much a lights to flag performance for Senna in his debut last season at Spa in a McLaren. So I was commentating on that, and I was having kittens because pronouncing the names Senna and McLaren in the same sentence. Oh, it's goosebumps.
I can just imagine. I wish I was there for it.
But yeah,
As we
he's coming.
he had he was very close to Isaac's second sector. I think he might be in the top 4 here.
Yeah, as he comes to the line, it is P4 for Senna, a 29.998, so just into the 29s. So every Tier 4 driver has now got a lap on the board, which is crucial around here. Obviously, you want to try and get as high up as you possibly can, because despite the changes that they've made to this track over the years, it is still one of the hardest tracks to overtake on, despite the changes they've made and adding an extra DRS zone. As Josh Boy comes around the final corner to boost himself up, he improves by 1 position ahead of Delta into P3. Blurt is improved to P2 in the other Hassor, I believe. I can't remember. So many laps going off. Connor has bailed.
Connor has improved on his time. He went from a 130.8 to a 130.2. Great improvement of about 6 tenths. But he's definitely got some more time in there somewhere.
Yeah, so just jumped to Sternberg, who's a second up on his best time. So he's already a second up on his banker lap of a 31.915. So if he keeps this one nice and tidy, it's going to be a big improvement for Sternberg, which will easily get him within the top 10.
And that's a 1 second improvement just on Sector 1. This might be a great lap from Sternberg.
Yeah. As long as he keeps it together. He's just got DRS now heading towards turn 14. 1.5 up through Sector 2.
And he makes a mistake, runs wide.
Yep. Just about kept it out the wall though, or it's at least a little brush with the rear left, I believe it would be. Nice and tidy through turns 16 and 17. He's just got turns 18 and 19 left. Where is he going to put the Mercedes? As he goes P7 with a 30.403, putting the Mercedes into the top 10.
And I tell you what, I think he's got more pace. If it wasn't for that mistake, I think he's got another 3 tenths.
Slight brush of the wall on the exit at turn 14, but still a solid lap from Sternberg to put himself into the top 10, into the top 7, and close amongst the from 6 downwards, the top 5. It's still anyone's at the top though, because it's mere fractions between Isaac and Blurt, as Isaac's currently on an out lap. We'll drop to Brindle, who is going into the pits. Let's have a look at... We'll jump to Isaac, as he's now on a flying lap again. Got 3 minutes and 21 seconds left in qualifying. Isaac currently on provisional pole, as he is 48 thousandths down on his current pole position time. So still could improve with the track evolution. A few yellow flags for cars getting out the way of cars on quicker laps. We're going to stick with Isaac as he heads over the Anderson Bridge to the second DRS zone out of turn 13. DRS wide open. What's it going to say through sector 2? He's 29 thousandths down. So again, mere fractions down on his pole position time.
Yeah, he needs this to be a good final sector if he wants to improve.
Looks nice and tidy through 16 and 17. He's just got turns 18 and 19 left. And he's 2/10 down. He stays in that provisional pole spot, so it's still in his court. Isaac's still looking to pretty much have the best starting position on the grid. As we jump to Smoggy Ghost, who's just had a 6/10 improvement. 30.313 puts the Aston Martin P7, dropping Sternberg down to P9. As we jump to Delta in the Haas, just going through turn 5 up towards 6 and 7. What's it going to say? He's 2/10 up in sector 1 in the Haas, but he goes slightly wide over the curb, but didn't invalidate, so he can still keep going, but that's going to cost him a bit of time.
And I see GXD is finishing
And
his lap right now.
I think Delta's actually backed out of it. Yeah, he's backed out of this lap because of going over the red and white curb on the exit of turn 6.
GXD improves to P6 with a decent lap of his own.
Yep. Just behind his teammates, so Alpine 5th and 6th. For second and third on the timing page is quite close together. We've got Josh Boy and Blurt line astern on track. Josh Boy just ahead of Blurt, so we'll follow the Williams and then flick to the Haas at the same time to see how each driver's doing on their last runs.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on Blurt for you.
I'll keep an eye on Josh Boy then. He's the lead car out of the two of them. As I believe we're about to have the checker flag. There it is, checker flag for qualifying. So Connor stays P7. He's just caught the checker flag.
Blurt is almost 2/10 up. This is going to be a mega lap if he can finish this.
Yeah, Josh Boy looking solid as well. Just up the road. So it'll be the Williams to take the checker flag first. This is the battle for pole. Josh Boy at 29.110, and Blurt improves to yeah, both of them improve, but it's Josh Boy that snatches it at the moment as Senna 29.063.
What a lap from Senna. As I believe Delta is also on a lap, he still can't finish it and maybe shoots himself up as he's almost 5/10 up on his own lap. He might be able to get ahead of his teammate.
Yeah, he's got the chance to leapfrog Blurt and get close to the top two. I don't think it's going to be enough to challenge Senna's provisional pole time. But 2 corners left for Delta.
He loses the rear end.
Oh, he just keeps it. 2/10 improvement just behind his teammate. So it's an all second row for Haas. As Owen invalidated, and so is Blurred Magic, who goes into pits. So that is qualifying. So right at the depth, under the nose of everybody, Senna takes pole at Singapore, ahead of the championship leader of Josh Boy. And then it's Blurt and Delta in the all Haas second row. Phenomenal final lap from Senna.
An interesting race. What a lap from Senna. To be honest, at the start of quali, I don't think we would have thought he'd be here, especially after invalidating his first lap and his second lap being slightly off the pace. What a lap from Senna.
Yeah, he left it late, but he got the job done. So here is the running order for Tier 4. We have Senna on pole, then it's Josh Boy, Blurt, Delta the top 4. Isaac is 5th, GXD 6th, Connor 7th, Smoggy Ghost 8th, Sternberg 9th, Lily rounds out the top 10, Owen J 11th, Brindle 12th, Man is 13th, Fire J 14th, Blurred, Magic 15th, KG 16th, then it's GTS 17th, Airways 18th, Maverick 19th, and Armar rounding out the 20 runners at the back of the grid. Right, so everybody in their cars will get a brief interval between now and lights out for the installation lap, and also lights out for the race. Gives them chance to go for a toilet break, sort out the strategy, look at the weather forecasts, and also do anything they need to do in that time. So in the mean being, we will go over the Marina Bay circuit at Singapore. First race here was in 2008, which had a bit of controversy behind it, because everyone, new and old Formula One followers, all know of the infamous Crashgate.
Crashgate.
Yeah, with Renault and Nelson Piquet, which led to Fernando Alonso winning the very first Singapore Grand Prix. There has been 3 different layouts of the Singapore Marina Bay street circuit. You mentioned hear me mention at turn 10 of the infamous Singapore Sling, which was in the original layout of the circuit, which was 3.148 miles long. Then they removed the Singapore Sling, reducing the lap distance to 3.147 miles, so taking off 0.001 of a mile with the removal of the Singapore Sling. And then they made changes again to what we have today, because they removed the section of track that went under the grandstand, where, as we know, we had many cars going into the wall around there, and that took a heap of a chunk off the distance around here to what it is now of 3.070 miles. So one very minor slight change due to the hazards it caused, and the latest change to try and improve overtaking. But as we know, Singapore is still one of the hardest tracks to overtake despite the layout, and don't let the layout mislead you as well, because majority of the track, low speed, low traction corners, which means you want as much downforce as possible despite the long-ish straights towards the end of the lap, with the changes that they made. 19 corners make up this circuit. We have 12 turns to the left and 7 to the right. It is a anti-clockwise circuit, so a lot of drivers put in a lot of load on the I would say the right hand side of the car, or is it the left hand side of the car with an anti-clockwise?
So with the anti-clockwise, it does put most of the stress on the outside tire, which would be your right hand.
Yeah, so the right front will get a lot of load, but the tyres you mainly need to keep an eye on around here is your rears, because with the low traction zone in the low speed corners, it is very easy to spin those rears up and add any unnecessary heat into the tyres. It is possible to one stop around here, but as I say, you've got to really take care of those rear tyres that you don't take too much out of them, because if you attack too much, the rears could overheat and put unnecessary added wear onto them, and you'll be trying to keep the rear of your car in check. You'll be like a slappy dog with a waggy tail if you're not careful.
Yeah, so something I realized, I found it out the hard way on Monday with Tier 1, is that you do get some thermal dig on these tires, especially the rear tires when they start to overheat. It might not be the internal carcass temperature, but the outside temperature of the
It's the
tires.
surface temperature.
Yeah, and it starts to give you thermal dig, and then the rear end starts to feel slidey once you go into high speed corners, like for instance the final corner. It feels like your car consistently wants to step out as you take the corner. And then the slow speed chicanes also give an issue with once that starts to happen, as we see the formation lap about to start.
Installation lap. So we'll have a look at who's on what. Senna deciding to start on the hard tyre on pole, so it's going to be an interesting start to this one, because Josh Boy on the medium, so we're going to see possibly Josh Boy getting the better start with the medium tyres, and he is looking to take the lead going into the first couple corners. Blur, Delta, Isaac, GXD, Connor, Smoggy Ghost and Sternberg on the mediums behind him. The next hard runner is Liliu, the Grill in the Ferrari and P10 on the hards. Owen J has gone mediums. And then Brindle, Man, Fire J, Blurred, Magic and KG have all gone for the hards. GTS, Airways and Maverick have gone on the mediums, as we've had a bit of a collision, I believe, on the installation lap, which has put KG and GTS on the grid, and they're just going to have to sit there and wait now. And
it's always those two, isn't it?
And rounding off the grid at the back, Armor is on the hard tyres, but expect KG, Airways and Armor to dive into the pits at the end of lap 1 by the rules for higher tier drivers. They've got to pit on the end of lap 1, and then every dreaded whatever that car that comes out afterwards, which so far only one tier has had a I'm going to say the dreaded word, so safety car, and that was tier 2. We had a safety car, at least one safety car in tier 1, and we had at least a safety car in tier 3. So can the tier 4 group go without one and join tier 2 of a nice safety car free race, as Owen J and Maverick have just missed their grid spots, so they've been set back a little bit as we wait for the 5 red lights to get the Singapore Grand Prix underway. There's 3, 4 and 5, and it's lights out at the streets of Marina Bay, and it's a good launch from Senna. And Josh Boy on the inside. Oh, it's about 3 wide going into there. It's getting very tight, but Senna holds on to the lead, and Blurt moves up into second. Josh Boy.
I just checked. Josh Boy doesn't have damage.
Nice.
And he's now side by side with Delta.
Yeah, Senna and Blurt went side by side as well, but Senna holding on. He's going to have a slight disadvantage with being on those hard tyres on this early stage, but he's held the lead well. There's quite a few cars going 2 wide further back in shot, but so far everybody's changed positions apart from Senna and Armar. Smoggy Ghost has gone down 11 off the start. The biggest winner so far looks to be KG up to 10th in that kick Sauber.
Yeah, it's been a quiet start to the first lap, but Joshua wouldn't have been happy to lose out that position to Blurt.
Nah, it's trying to get 3 wide through turns 1 and 2 is a difficult task at times, as we have Blurt all over the rear wing of Senna. He knows he's got the advantage at the moment with the medium tyres, with Senna on the hards in these opening stages of the race. Senna sets the opening lap of a 37.385. But Senna in a very prime position. He's just got to try and play the patient game at the moment, because the cars behind him on the medium tyres, as we have 2 cars with, I believe that was 10 seconds for pit lane. I believe that was Connor and Smoggy Ghost, both getting 10 seconds for not slowing down enough for the pit lane entry. It is an awkward one at Singapore, because it's 2 left-handers, and the pit lane line comes at you so quick that you can easily misjudge it and fall foul of 10 seconds, which those 2 have done. But it's still Senna holding the lead at this moment.
So only thing I saw that is quite interesting is that both Blurt Magic, Isaac, who's dropped way back. He was in the top 5 in qualifying, I believe. And he's got front wing damage as well.
Yeah,
and it doesn't look good for him. He needs to pit.
Yeah, he's got wing damage. He's missing an end plate on that right hand side. He did try to have a look around the outside of Fire J into turn 14. Just kept it out the wall and exit, as Senna and GXD trading fastest lap. So GXD in P4 now holds the fastest lap. He's in the middle of that train, the Senna, Blurt, Josh Boy, GXD, Delta and Sternberg train, the top 6 nose to tail. Owen J's dropped back to near about 2 seconds, near enough. It's 1.9. He's got a 2.2 second gap to both Ferraris. Linus Stern in 8th and 9th.
Yeah, Brindle does look to be faster than Liliu in this early stages, but every time he gets close to him, his car just washes out with the dirty air, and he starts to understeer. I think they might need to swap positions if they want to try and catch Owen. Possible
team swapperoo at Ferrari if Brindle's being held up too much. We have recently just had GXD lose a place to Delta, and now Delta under a little GXD under a little bit of pressure from Sternberg. He's dropped off of over a second off of Delta, so Delta's got past the Alpine and then bolted, as Josh Boy has had a moment and he's now falling behind. So the both Saubers, as we lost Connor, and we have a virtual safety car. Connor has gone on the exit of turn 9. So the leaders of the Constructors' Championship, Williams, are down 1 car, with Connor only lasting 4 laps. I mean, he has been commentating for the last hour or so, just gone, because he was commentating with Steve for Tier 3, so fair play to Connor from going from the comms box to his rig, as we're back to green flag with Senna with 1.6 second gap to Blurt, so it's looking a little comfortable for Senna at the front. But now the question is, what are the 2 Haas going to do? Are they going to race each other, or is Blurt going to think, Delta's a bit quicker, maybe I'll let him through and have a little go at Senna further up, but obviously the racer in Blurt is going to want to hold that position as much as he can, so expect an inter-team scrap at Haas.
Yeah, Blurt just losing the rear entry again. He looks to be struggling compared to Delta. They need to make a team swap if they want to try and catch Senna.
Yeah, I think Blurt's took too much out of his rears if he's sliding around at this stage. The mediums will start to be dropping off at this point in the race. The rears start to dwindle rather quickly if you don't keep them in check, but it does look like that Delta is the more comfortable of the two Hasses, and Josh Boy not too far behind. Second, third and fourth.
I see Delta's front wing damaged compared to Blurt, and he does seem to have the pace over Blurt.
Yeah, as the Hasses have swapped with Delta getting past with DRS, so that's Delta now ahead of Blurt, so Delta now the lead Haas. But yeah, as you said, Delta carrying some damage on that front wing, missing a left end plate, yet he's looking the quicker of the two cars, but Senna out front, the tyres are going to be slowly coming towards him now. He's got 2.1 seconds. He is in dreamland right now, but as we know with Singapore, it's a very long, mentally challenging race. It takes a lot out of you, both physically and mentally, with how long it is. So
yeah, it is a difficult track.
You don't want a lapse of concentration at all, because despite a couple of the runoff zones, but as we know at many street tracks like Singapore and Monaco in particular, one lapse in concentration and you find yourself making acquaintance with a barrier at some point, so you don't want to lose your concentration at all throughout this one. We'll drop down to see how battles are going off further down the order. We've got a slight...
We've got a good battle between Brindle and Mann, who made contact into turn one.
Yeah, Ferrari versus Red Bull. Brindle has dropped off from his teammate by about 3 seconds. Brindle on hard tyres, Mann on hard tyres as well, as he goes down the inside of turn 9. Brindle's still there. There's a bit of contact between them, not too hard I think, but they're racing hard. And Brindle keeps the position for the Ferrari, stays ahead of the Red Bull. And further back, we've got the McLaren of Fire J and the Aston Martin and Maverick. I believe they've made contact, and it looks like Fire J's decided to be a bit of a sportsman and let Maverick through. So Maverick now ahead of Fire J, that's 11th and 12th. We'll jump back up to the battle of the Hasses. But it looks to be a bit of a stalemate, because Delta's able to keep, despite the damage, a consistent pace, and is not letting Blurt get anywhere near him. But Blurt seems to be really struggling compared to Delta.
Yeah, as he now loses DRS.
Yeah, he's going to be...
That's going to open the door for Josh.
Yeah, he's going to be vulnerable to Josh Boy. Will the Williams take advantage? He's alongside on the inside, and the Williams is through, but the Haas is still there on the outside. Gets on the curb, which unsettles it. He's now going to have the inside is Blurt, but the difference... The Williams looks to have more traction, and Josh Boy gets the position. It was very fair and hard defence from Blurt, but unfortunately he has lost the position to Josh Boy, so Josh Boy up to P3, which has allowed Delta to get a bit of breathing space. He's now got 2.4 seconds to the fight in. Josh Boy And Blurt has fallen even further back from Josh Boy. He's really struggling with those rears. And
yeah, I think and he's got front wing damage. He definitely lost the rear.
Yeah,
and he just picked up damage at the bridge.
Yeah, he's got M plate missing on the right-hand side of that Haas. So both Haas's carrying damage, one on the left, one on the right. Merge the two front wings together and you get a full one.
Yeah, and he's definitely coming into pit.
Yeah, he's going straight in. Blurt's, I believe Blurt is going to be settling in for a significant stint on the hard tyres, or he may end up looking at the two-stop. The undercut round here is huge, because I believe we had an undercut in tier 3 earlier on of over 6 seconds. So the undercut around here is massive. So with a new wing and fresh tyres, Blurt will be able to get his foot down and get back into this. We've had a bit of a contact with Brindle and Mann, Ferrari and Red Bull coming together, and I believe one got squeezed into the wall, and that has brought out the full safety car.
Yeah, and that's not what we want to see when these guys go racing, but it does happen from time to time. Both of them have lost their front wings.
Yeah.
And are cruising back to the pits.
We'll probably see that in the stewards' room afterwards. We caught the... It was a bit of an odd one because I don't know if the Ferrari or one of them lost the rear and ended up putting the other into the wall, but that'll probably be one for the stewards to look at if either one of them puts it in, but...
this is the perfect time for Delta to pit with his front wing damage.
Yeah,
and
he'll
get
be
his
able
wing
to.
Replaced.
Yeah, he can get that new front wing on. Senna stays out with being on the hard tyres, but this kind of goes against Senna with starting on those hard tyres. Those that have started on the mediums, this could help them at least, because we'll have at least 2 or 3 laps behind the safety car. Josh Boy has jumped ahead of Delta with Delta getting the front wing change, but Delta's got it back in the pit lane. So as KG 10 seconds speeding in pit lane, as a lot of people taking advantage of this safety car. Lilui, or I'm just going to say the grill, has stayed out. That's a bit of a tongue twister, that is, so I'll just stick to the grill because that's easier to say. Yeah, the Ferrari stays out on the hard tyres, so the lead car that has pitted is Delta with a brand new front wing and brand new hard tyres. Senna has picked up the safety car. And
a driver who is really who's really been like badly influenced with the safety car is Blurt, because I saw he still had his front wing damage. His wing wasn't replaced, so he had to pit again, and he'll have to pit again because he is on mediums.
So yeah, it's a complete reset. The saving grace for Senna is he's got 2 back markers between him and the rest of the pack, because you got the 18th and 19th duo of GTS and Armar in the Mercedes and the McLaren just behind the race leader. It's going to be at least 2 or 3 laps, I believe, with the safety car. So it's not too bad, the medium runners pitting for a set of hards now, because by the time the safety car comes in, it would have been round about the lap that they would have been looking to pit on, because if you at least one stop in around here, you want to be pitting at least laps from laps 12 to 14, 15 at a stretch, but you don't want to be doing any more laps than 15 on those mediums if you want to one-stop it. So this safety car could help those that have gone from mediums to hards, because at the moment they're not taking any life out of them, so they may get the hards to the end despite making the pit stop earlier than what they would have wanted.
Yeah, I think everyone that's on hards can make it to the end. The medium runners, it will be a stretch to try and make them to the end. They will definitely be in puncher territory, or they might have a meeting with Mr. Barrier sooner rather than later.
Oh, nobody likes Mr. Barrier, that's for sure.
Trust me, I met him 3 times on Monday. It's not a fun feeling.
Yeah, I found myself face planting the barrier in qualifying in Tier 2 at turn 16. Completely missed the braking zone for turn 16. I went past the 100 metre board and just had to brake at the 50 just to try and get the car stopped and before hitting the barrier, but unfortunately no, I didn't, and ended up just doing 1 lap at the end of qualifying and put it straight into the top 10 on 1 run, which surprised me, as we're going to be going racing again. Senna is going to get the race back underway on lap 11. He's not under pressure too much from the grill behind. Same life of hard tyre, but they are under immense pressure from Delta on the fresh hard tyres, as Delta trying to get the traction down almost ends up in the wall, and Josh Boy's there as well on the mediums. He's going to be really wanting to go fighting in these stages, being on those medium tyres, as Delta gets past the Ferrari up into second place and can now make hay and start to head towards Senna, who's got lap cars around him. They're both higher
Josh
tier.
is going to need to get past the grill, otherwise his race might get damaged being stuck behind him.
He's getting held up as Maverick and Blurred Magic has gone, and now we've got a second safety car within a lap.
You had to say it at the start. You had to say it.
Someone's got to say it at some point.
The commentators, because but another safety car, Blurred and Maverick getting too close to each other.
Yeah, that was at turn 9, I believe they both ended up, so that's probably going to be looked at afterwards depending on what happened. So it's a complete reset again, and those that are on the hard tyres that have made their stop, this falls right into their hands as Senna stays out. This is really hurting Senna, because he didn't want the early, he could have done without the early safety car, but to get 2 safety cars one after the other, it's falling away from him strategy wise, because he's on the hard tyres. The early safety cars have gone completely against him, and it's looking more in towards the line of Delta in second, who's gone from mediums to hards from the last safety car. So with this second safety car, those hard tyres will easily get to the end, because it'll be at least another about 2 laps behind the Aston Martin safety car. So they'll be definitely in the window, the hard tyres going to the end after this second safety car. But this is really hurting Senna, and he had a monstrous start. He held the lead off the grid, opened up a 2-second gap, and the first safety car pretty much depleted that one. And this second safety car, which has come a mere lap after not even a lap after the restart, about half a lap, after the restart, it's going away from Senna, and he was having a great start to this, so he's going to be seething in that cockpit. He's not going to be happy because these safety cars have practically took his strategy away from him.
Yeah, it did. My opinion is he should have gone for the medium tyres. I know they will be in puncture territory towards the end, but then at least he's made his stop, and if there's another safety car, you can just switch over.
Yeah, and then that goes into a question of what allocation of the driver's gone for. Did they go for the balance for the two sets of mediums, or did they go for the harder allocation for that extra pair of hard tyres? I think the safest bet would be the harder allocation, because they may be slower, but the consistency with the hard tyres around here is so much better than the mediums. So personally, I would go, which is what I did on Monday in Tier 2. I did take the harder allocation. Yes, I did one stop it, but I think the harder allocation would be the safest way to go, because but with a late safety car, it's anyone's. I mean, you don't want to. You could get away with using a soft tyre, but it depends how late the safety car is, because if it's too late, there may not even be any reason to make the stop. So it's
true, and it is difficult. I also prefer the hard tyres here. They are more consistent, especially when it gets to the end of the stint. The hard tyres don't wear as much as the mediums do.
Yeah, especially if you've started on the mediums and you're doing your second stint on the hards, because there's less fuel in the car, so there's less deg being put onto those tyres during that late end of the race. So safety car in again. So the question is,
just some feedback. I see Sternberg and Josh Boy both have front wing damage. They picked it up behind the safety car, I believe.
Ooh.
So it is going to be difficult for Josh Boy to try and claw it back compared to Delta.
Yeah, so the question is, where's Senna going to go on this restart? Because sometimes it helps to mix it up, but sometimes you want to go before. He's going a bit later than he did last time. He's going a lot later than he did last time. He's gone left it right until the line to leave it as less as possible of Delta to get a run. So Senna mixing it up on the restart, leaving it right until near enough the end. Delta all under the gearbox of the Alpine through turns 1 and 2. Senna's going to be under immense pressure because his tyres are 14 laps old compared to Delta, who's been under safety car majority of the stint on those hard tyres. So they're going to have very little, next to nothing taken out of them yet. So Senna under massive pressure on this restart. Alpine versus Haas for the lead of this race. Senna holding station, but it's as we're seeing, it's not the easiest place to overtake, because all Senna is doing is putting the car in the correct place despite being on far worse tyres than Delta, and there's just no room for Delta to bit of contact as Delta can brake
the
later.
Only thing Senna can do is place the car in the perfect position. Delta will get understeer from the dirty air.
Yeah, dirty air on this game is horrible. But yeah, he's staying with him, so he's just going to be waiting for DRS really. But with the two safety cars, the race has really gone away. Blurred Magic in the YouTube chat. Rain was coming, so we could be having some rain. As we have another, is that another safety car? Or is that just a glitch on my screen? It's gone again.
Just a glitch.
Yeah, yeah, Blur Magic has mentioned the word rain in the YouTube chat, so that's going to be something to keep an eye on. If we're going to
Senna's
possibly,
under pressure, yeah.
yes,
He
he
just needs
is.
to defend the inside and break as late as he dares.
Yep. As Delta swoops around the outside, bit of the back end stepping out, but that's the difference in grip between Delta and Senna. So Delta takes the lead, Senna down to second. And now Senna is going to be falling into the grasp of Josh Boy as we have a yellow flag at turn 8. That is Armar letting people through. He is a lap down. But now Senna, with those very old hard tyres, is under pressure from Josh Boy, who's got DRS. Has a little look, but has to stay behind.
GXD makes a late move and he breaks his front wing, trying to make a move on the grill. And he still has DRS.
Yep, the grill also has not pitted yet, so they are falling back as well. Scottish Maverick in the YouTube chat, Senna got... Yeah, he's pretty much... His race has been ruined by those two safety cars. As now he's behind Josh Boy. So Senna's gone from first to third. But that is the difference of old tyres to new. And Delta already finds himself 2.2 seconds up the road. And it's fallen right into his clutches. But as we know, we're racing. Anything can happen. This is only lap 16 of 31. And as we all know, Singapore is a long one. So anything can happen as the grill is dropping down even more. Find themselves down into 8th place. Just losing places hand over fist with those hard tyres. Really struggling at this stage. Delta really putting his foot down out front. He's got nearly 3 seconds to Josh Boy, who's broken DRS of Senna, who's struggling on those hard tyres. Although we have... Oh, Owen J's gone. And we have a third safety car of the evening.
And
Owen
now
J.
that plays into Senna's hands.
Yep. Swings and roundabouts. I believe Owen J went at the Anderson Bridge. So safety car number 3. KG drive through for speeding under the safety car. He could not get it slowed down under the Delta in time. So that is a drive-through for KG in the Sauber. As, yep, Senna is coming in. So Senna will be putting on the medium tyres. So, yes, he's going to lose a few places. GXD's in as well. So GXD's actually going to stack behind Senna. So GXD's going to be losing more time. Because both Alpines are in. They are double stacking. So Senna's out.
Intermediate tyres for Senna.
Let's have a look at the Alpine when he comes out the pits.
Is he in a different race?
I don't know, because yeah, he's got intermediates on. Does he know something? Well, Blurred Magic did mention the word rain in the YouTube chat, so I wonder if Senna is expecting it.
But this early, I mean, there isn't even drops of rain yet.
No, there's no rain at all. Because if we go on board with the Haas of Delta, you can't see any streaks of rain on the car. So that is really bizarre from Senna. He's either played the master stroke or things have gone astray from him even more. So that's going to be one to keep an eye out. So Senna has took the biggest gamble. It is still bone dry out. There's going to be a few laps behind the safety car. and he's gonna be wanting to tiptoe as much as possible, because the last thing he wants to do is go like the clappers to catch up to the safety car and burn out those intermediates. So he is tiptoeing. Delta is in as well.
As the rain now starts.
Yeah, we do have rain. The streaks on the car. So Senna did call it correctly. So just like in tier 3 earlier, we have rain. We had rain in tier 3 earlier on, and now tier 4 has rain. And this kind of helps them. They're under safety car, so it kind of helps them a little bit, because
it does. But is it going to rain enough for the inter tires to be the better tire for the next 3 or 4 laps?
Well, I was watching tier 3 earlier, and when the rain came, the track got wet. The track got wet very quickly, because Singapore, just like in Malaysia, when it rains, because we've had a few wet races in real life in Singapore, and the track was absolutely soaked a couple years ago, where we had that infamous start where both Ferraris ended up colliding together, and both ended up not finishing, and Hamilton gaining from that mishap shenanigans at the front. So yeah, I believe
everyone is almost on the inters,
apart from those at the front that haven't pitted yet, which are Josh Boy. KG is still on dry tyres, so is GXD. Man is also still on dry tyres, so Delta, so that's quite a few cars between Senna and Delta on dries, but I wonder if they'll come in, and Josh Boy will probably be thinking about it as well. Yep, they are all coming in. Josh Boy, KG, GXD, and I believe that's Blurt as well. So all 4 of those have missed out massively, having to stick behind the safety car with everyone changing to the inters. Did Man stay out? Is he still on dries? Yeah, Man's still on dries. The Red Bull
track is really wet now.
Yeah, you can see the droplets hitting the floor. It is very greasy and slippery now. It has gotten wet. It is definitely not dry tyre territory now. So Man is
still on dry tyres.
Yeah, he really needs to come in, but he's going to be losing so many positions with having to pit at this late stage of the safety car. But we did mention that the safety cars earlier on took the race away from Senna, the 2 safety cars before. But this safety car, with a mixture of the rain, has put him back in, I would say, favourite now for this, because as we know, it's hard to overtake in the dry, but trying to overtake in the rain around here is near on just asking too much. So it has gone from Senna, but now it's fallen straight back into his lap.
Yeah, Senna's it is difficult to overtake here, so it does play into Senna's hands, but it's also one of the most difficult tracks to drive.
Oh yeah, the low grip,
greasy.
Yeah, because you got the low traction, slow corner, so you want to be taking it so cautiously, and as well, it's not very easy to get tyre temperature when it's wet as well, because we've had moments here in the past where it's been wet at intermediates, but they've still been relatively cold, and under safety car they've just got no track temperature. So the best thing for Man is to come straight in, but I think he's going to try and brave it.
He's going to do it.
No, he's going to brave it out for this one. He's staying out. He's going to be fighting as Senna goes, he's got so much grip. You can see, man,
You can
fighting.
see Delta already lost.
Delta's already up to second. So now he can charge to challenge Senna up front, as Man is just struggling for grip. He's just got no grip on those dry tyres. And he's just going to be falling like a rock at this point. As it only takes a small clip as well in his round. All it takes is the slightest little clip from another car in these conditions, especially when you're in...
Blurt and Fire side by side.
We'll drop down to that one. Yep. Blurt was on the outside, Fire J on the inside. The McLaren holds position, as I think there was a nudge from the Haas as well, which has put the McLaren out of shape. And it looks like the Haas is going to sweep around the outside as well. So Blurt, despite not getting the move done, gets the move done a few corners later. But a lot of them, as I believe Delta's just hit the wall. Yes, he is. He's missing an end plate on that right-hand side, which is allowing him to fall under attack from Fire J again. A lot of them fighting for grip. They are trying to find the grip on these inters in these at this stage. With they've done no racing laps on the intermediate, so everyone's trying to find where the grip is.
Yeah, KG pushed the grill a little bit wide, which cost him a position to Brindle as well, and KG also dropped back a little bit.
Josh Boy's moved up to P5 ahead of the grill, so Williams in between both Ferraris. But out front, Delta has got the gap down to 3/10. It is game on out front. Senna versus Delta, Alpine versus Haas on lap 21. We've got 11 or 12 laps left of this race. And it is rains and it is wet intermediates at this point now. So, and by the looks of it, we've got no DRS as well. So it's going to be even harder to overtake. So it's looking good for Senna, but with the low grip of the wet track and the slow speed corners, it is so easy to lose the car, especially when you're close to walls on exit. So Senna has just got to try and keep a level head and just keep putting that Alpine in the correct spots. And
yeah, you can see Delta is so much smoother on throttle, and he can get so much closer to Senna.
Yeah, he's near enough pushing him round certain corners. But as you can see, we're in a DRS zone and there's no DRS open on the Haas, so he's got to do an overtake the old school way. Little bit of battery deployment as GTS has got 3 seconds. My guess is struggling with that rear, and it's overstepped the marks a little bit, but it's still game on out front. So I believe Delta's just had a moment on the exit of 17. So he's dropped back a little bit from Senna. So Senna with a bit of breathing space. As we'll drop down to see what's happening further back, because we have Fire J, the Grill, and also Airways and GXD in close proximity.
Yeah, GXD has been falling back ever since the safety car restart. He's struggling in these conditions. Yeah,
he doesn't look happy in the wet conditions, and the rain and the wet can really turn a race on its head, because those that may not be quick in the dry, but you could get somebody that is absolutely comfortable in the wet, that's probably one of the slowest in the dry, but in the rain it comes to their hands, because it neutralizes the quick guys, because they may be quick in the dry but they may not have the confidence in the wet, so it's a big neutralizer. As we'll jump back to the front, as you could hear as we just jumped back with Delta fighting to get the traction down out of corners. as he's staying within about 6, 7, 8 tenths to Senna. So Senna doing everything he needs to do to absolute perfection.
Yeah, the problem for Delta is every time he's going to get within that half a second, he's going to start feeling the dirty air effect, and he's going to just lose the car, as we saw there in turn 17 again.
Yeah, he's constantly having to fight the car. He's dropped back out of near enough out of a second from Senna. Senna is getting, as Delta's got 3 seconds into turn 1, so that is pretty much done the fight for him. So Senna will see that and feel more comfortable, because even if Delta can get up to the Alpine and overtake, but then Delta's got to try and open a 3-second gap to Senna. So this is looking very, very good for Senna. But as we know, anything can happen. As we look at the battle for 10th and 11th, Isaac and Fire J, Red Bull versus... Sorry, Racing Bull versus McLaren. As I believe Isaac's car's ghosted, so I don't think he's in the car, because Fire J's just driven straight through him, so I don't think Isaac's in that car at the moment. And the way the gap is opening up does confirm that Isaac is not in his car at the moment. So that's...
You see Delta's getting really close to Senna. If
yeah,
he can get a proper exit, then he does.
Oh, but he got a bit squirrely though. We was fighting for traction, and it's a lot wetter than it was earlier. You can see the spray now coming up off the track. The rain may be light, but it's consistent, as Isaac has managed to get back in, so he can now get the hammer back down, as Armar all over the back. Even though he's a lap down, he's doing the right thing and not getting involved in the fight for the lead. But Delta, it swung the other way now, because as the tracks got wetter, Senna looks more comfortable, whereas Delta seems to be fighting the car. Most of that is probably due to the dirty air from Senna, but he's really struggling to get the grip out of corners as the tracks got wetter throughout. Because again, the back end wanting to step out of turn 6.
Yeah, but I think he just needs to prevent himself from overdriving the car.
Yeah,
and he might be able to get closer to Senna.
Yeah, I think tracks like Singapore and Monaco, you can get away with not driving the car at 100%, probably between 80 and 90 odd percent, because as we all know, the first thing you got to do is finish, because you can't score points if you don't finish. You can't win a race if you don't finish. You can't get on the podium if you don't finish. So even though he may not have the win on the cards, he's still got a podium finish on the cards as long as he finishes. And I think he's got to be thinking about that now, instead of trying to... Yes, he's keeping up with Senna, but I think it's got to the point now where Delta's got to think, right, I can't get the win, let me just get the car to the end. It's wet, it's Singapore, main thing is getting to the flag.
Definitely, and not just crashing the car. If he overdrives, he might get another 3-second penalty.
Yeah,
and that might start to invite Smuggy into the conversation for P2 if he continues with penalties as well.
Yeah, and with time penalties, a late safety car, as the rain's looking a lot heavier now than it was earlier. The track is soaking wet right now, but it is still intermediates. But you can see how quickly the track's gone from dry to wet in these several laps, and you can see how heavier the rain's coming down now. So everybody on track at this stage will be in survival instincts mode. They'll be thinking, right, just get to the flag. It's lap 25 of 31. Just get to the flag. And the benefit for Delta is he doesn't have to, as you say, overdrive the car, because the gap between him and Smoggy is 12 seconds now. So he is looking comfortable. And yes, his visibility is not as good as his following Senna because of the spray coming off of the Alpine. So the visibility is not going to be that good. But he's doing what he needs to do.
As he locks up.
He has. He's kept it from hitting the wall though, so he's done well to not hit the wall. He's lost a lot of time to Senna. But again, I believe Delta's trying to overdrive the car, unless that was a little lock, as you say, a lock up, which has caused the car to step out. But I think that'll probably wake him up a bit, and he'll probably think, right, now I've just got to settle down and just make it to the end, because he's got a sizable gap to Smoggy Ghost in third, who I believe is already into the mental positioning now, where I just need to make it to the flag now and I'm guaranteed third place. The same with Brindle in P4, but he's got Josh Boy and Blurt behind. Blurt carrying a penalty though.
Yeah, you can see with Brindle and Smoggy, they both they're not even using the full width of the track. They're just trying to keep the car moving in the right direction.
Yeah, pointing.
They're not really pushing.
Yeah, they're not pushing. They're just making sure they get to the end, because, as you say, they're not using the full width of the track. They're keeping away from the walls. They're not overdriving, which will cause the car to spin or lock up or anything like that. They are just taking it easy. Because as we see with Brindle, he's not really attacking at all. He's taking it so cautiously, and also keeping it well away from the barriers as well, whereas you got Josh Boy behind, who is in attack mode and is getting right up against the barriers on exit, but doing well to not hit the barriers as well. So that's fair play to Josh Boy. You can see the difference. Josh Boy using a lot more track than Brindle. Brindle taking the safer, more cautious line, the slower and more precise line, as all the back end wanted to step out there for the Ferrari, but he's kept it in check.
Yeah, so GXD, Rooster and Man have all gone for wet tyres.
Yeah,
it would be interesting to see if they can gain on the intermediate runners.
Yeah, we've just jumped to GXD, as you mentioned that. He's got 22.1 seconds. I don't think they're going to get much out the wet tyres, because even in wet tyre, in full wet conditions, just like in real life, I think you've just got to brave it on the inters, because the full wets just don't seem to want to work even in wet conditions. But we'll find out, because the gap to Isaac and GXD is 22.5 seconds, so he's having to get those full wets fired up. We're on lap 27 of 31. We'll jump back to the battle for 4th, 5th and 6th, as Brindle just making sure he's staying out the barriers, and you can see how difficult it is to overtake in these conditions as it is, because as Josh Boy getting right up behind the Ferrari, but with the more cautious approach Brindle's taking, is being able to preserve the tyres a bit better, and also he's taking it a lot safer, and he's just putting the car in places, using the battery when he needs to keep the Williams behind, as Josh Boy having a little look, but again just has to sit back behind the Ferrari. As we go on to lap 28, with the race leader being 1.5 seconds. Delta's bringing the gap down, but was he just little tap on the wall on the exit of turn 4 or 5. So, as I believe Senna look to be almost letting Airways through, but Airways is Armour, sorry, is just staying in position as Fire J's gone, and we have a late safety car.
No.
Fire J has gone at turn 10. He's gone at the Singapore sling.
Yeah, and the top two are far away from Smoggy. They can definitely afford to pit, and I think whoever doesn't pit is definitely going to lose out with the safety car restart.
But the thing is, if you're that far behind, like for example, the further down, let's say where the grill is in P9, compared to where the race leader is of Senna, who is pretty much who's coming up to turn 14. The grill's just going through turn 8. You're that far down, you may not even catch the pack up, because we're on lap 28. The safety car will be picked up on lap 29. The safety car may only be out for just one lap before we go green flag again.
Yeah, so the safety car will come in at the end of lap 28. The thing is, the top two need to pit. As Senna doesn't pit, he stays out.
Neither of them both of them have stayed out. Maybe they're thinking it's not worth pitting, so they're going to brave it, because we're on lap 29. The safety car will come in on the end of lap 29 to give us at least 2 laps of racing. But that's all Senna needs now, is just to keep it on the black stuff and keep it off the painted lines, as he's now behind the safety car. So this is the 4th safety car we've had in Tier 4 tonight.
Yeah, and a lot of drivers won't be able to catch up to the safety car, unfortunately. With the pace that Senna and Delta have had in dry and wet conditions, is really it's been amazing to watch.
Just for example, Smoggy Ghost in 3rd. He's 21 seconds behind these two. He's just coming through turn 7 and turn 8. So he's at least 2 corners behind Senna and Delta. Yes, the safety car's going to be going very, very slow, but a lot of those towards the back are not gonna have chance to do anything about it, because
the grill and down won't be able to catch up. I think Blut might be able to, but the rest won't be able to catch up. Safety car
is in, so we'll have 2 racing laps to settle this one. All it takes is one mistake from Senna and pick up a 3 seconds, and it's game on. So it's not over yet. Don't count your chickens just yet. Anything can happen in racing.
Yeah,
Blurt
Senna
picks
needs
up
to be
3
careful.
seconds.
It looks like he's still going too fast. He might catch the safety car before it comes in.
Safety car's dived in, but yeah, he doesn't want to catch it too quickly, as I believe that is the Red Bull of Man getting out the way of Smoggy, who's almost able to catch the 2 leaders. But we are racing again. It is Senna versus Delta for the race on track. Lap 30 or 31, penultimate lap to go here in Singapore. Blurt with 3 seconds, he's really struggling. Blurt's picked up 2-3 seconds within a few seconds of each other. Delta almost spearheading into the wall, but was able to recollect it. Senna's just got to keep his head now for this lap and the next.
Yeah, Delta needs to build a gap to Smoggy. If Smoggy can get his foot down, he might be able to take the position from Delta.
Yeah, it's 3.2. About 3.3, 3.2. So Delta's going to be looking at that, and so's Smoggy. So Smoggy can possibly smell a podium if he can get in that 3 second window. So Delta from looking comfortable P2 is now looking under a little bit of pressure as that gap is just bouncing around 3 seconds. It's up to 3.2. Smoggy Ghost just got to keep his head, not think of the gap too much. He's got to keep it consistent and smooth.
Yeah, he's very smooth on the throttle.
Yeah, he's taking it very cautiously. He knows what's on the line. He's not taking any risks. As we have a yellow flag for a Mercedes at turn 5. But it's soon cleared up as we're on to the final lap. As Delta's having a look on the inside to turn 1. Delta makes the move, bit of a clip on the way through, but Delta takes the lead from Senna. Which is crucial because he could probably get that gap now to Smoggy. He needed to do that because he didn't want to risk being behind Senna and losing second place to Smoggy, but now he's in clean air. He can get that gap to Smoggy and hopefully save himself second place. But Senna's just going to follow Delta now for this last lap, take no risk because he knows, despite early stages with the early safety cars, the race went away from him, but actually Delta's really going to go for it. He's going to try and open a 3-second gap to Senna on this last lap, which would be mega if he does.
Yeah, Senna just needs to keep calm.
Yeah.
Keep it within 3 seconds.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of an ask for Delta from here to open up 3 seconds as we're just about to enter the third and final sector. The gap is 1.7. It was just too much of an ask. Yes, he got the move done, but it was too little too late. He's definitely... Smoggy Ghost just picked up 3 seconds. So that saves Delta the gap to 2.1, but it's not going to be enough. Delta's going to come round the final 2 corners, take the win on track. But it is going to be Senna who takes the win overall. Senna first, Delta second. Smoggy Ghost will round out the podium in third. Brindle is going to keep it in fourth. He brings it home nice and safely for P4. Blurt P5. The Grill looking to finish in sixth and bringing Josh Boy along. So it'd be the Grill P6, Josh Boy P7. Isaac will bring the car home 8th despite the disconnect earlier on. GXD is just disconnected towards the end of this one, but it's looking to be possible P9 for the Alpine, but probably not because you've got Airways, KG just behind as well.
I think GXD has too many penalties.
Yeah, Sternberg is going to finish P12. GXD's got to the line. Airways and KG finish 85 thousandths between the pair of them at the end, as we're just waiting for Sternberg now, the last car on the lead lap. So to all 15 drivers, we started with 20, we finished with 15, you all get points. 15 finishers, 15 get points. So everyone who got to the flag gets points. So I just want to say congratulations to all 15 that made it to the flag in those conditions. But most importantly, congratulations to Senna. That is a pole to win. It looked like the race went away from him with the early 2 safety cars. But the safety car came at the right time. And do us a favour, Senna, change your celebration. This is F1, not FIFA. We do not griddy in F1. Although Oscar Piastri tried to do the griddy once after a Grand Prix and
that was
failed
a
miserably.
fail.
Yeah, even he was in. I believe he was not too impressed with it. So yeah, this result will be provisional buy-in, stewards' decisions and inquiries. So yeah, Senna got the race win. Fastest lap went to KG. Most overtakes to Smoggy Ghost. Driver of the day in-game KG, and the Grill got cleanest driver. But yeah, this is the provisional finishing order. Senna first, Delta second, Smoggy Ghost third, Brindle fourth, Blurt fifth, Grill sixth, Josh Boy seventh, Isaac eighth, GXD ninth, Airways rounded out the top 10, KG 11th, Sternberg 12th, Man 13th, Armar 14th, GTS 15th, and then the non-finishers of Fire J, Owen, Blurred Magic, Maverick, and Connor. So we started with 20, we finished with 15. What a finish that at the end, to be honest, was just pretty much just a survival. As soon as the rain came, it was just survival mode for the remainder of that race.
Yeah, it was a difficult end to a race. I'm so happy it wasn't me in that race. I would have been in a wall somewhere. But well done to these drivers just to keep it out of the walls and keep going.
Yeah, it's hard to. I'm struggling to pick for driver of the day because Smoggy Ghost did well to finish where he was, and Senna, despite it looked like the race went away from him, but it came back to him with a safety car and the rain hitting, and he just kept his head, kept it out the walls, kept it pointing the right direction. So I'm tempted to split it between Senna and Smoggy Ghost, but again, Brindle with a nice, clean, quite tidy race, finishing P4, which is a solid result for him. So any of those three could possibly get it, but I'm going to share it between Smoggy Ghost and Senna for this one, because Smoggy Ghost picking up places where people made mistakes, and Senna just keeping his head, keeping his focus throughout those 31 laps. Looked like it went away from him, but then he got the win in the end despite Delta overtaking, but the 3 seconds pretty much sealed that battle. But all it would have took was Senna a lapse of concentration, pick up 3 seconds or worse, and it could have been Delta taking the win. So Senna just had to keep his head. He did what he did. So that rounds off Tier 4. There is one race left this week to do at Singapore, and that is Tier 0, which will be at 7 o'clock Thursday tomorrow night. I'm going to say it properly again. So thanks for being alongside me tonight, Skulk.
Thank you for having me. It was fun. It's been great fun, and hopefully we'll have some even better racing tomorrow with Tier 0.
Yeah, and probably a few more pairings between us, because it was the first time we'd been on comms together, and it's went quite smoothly. So thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
So yeah, that's Tier 4 wrapped up. We've got Tier 0 tomorrow, and then next week we'll be heading to the land of the rising sun as we go to Suzuka for Japan and round 7 next week. So from both me and Skulk, it is good night.